Hi, Scotty Sanders here. Thanks for jumping on. Looking forward to connecting with you in this talk. I think this is episode 34 of my Facebook Lives, so I'm glad that you've joined me. And you can always go back and watch the ones that I've done in the past if you want to check those out. In fact, you can go to my business page is where you'll find most of the videos. You can also go to scottysanders.com. It is my business website where I do my corporate speaking and some consulting from that as well. So scottysanders.com, those are turned into a blog article plus video, so you get kind of a double benefit there. So you may want to check that out. Again, my name is Scotty Sanders. I'm an international leadership consultant, and what I love to get to do is developing leaders. Today I had a lunch meeting. This is on a Monday, and it was about developing a leader. So I don't know how you feel about Mondays. I know a lot of people dread Mondays. And the reason I like to do this on Mondays is because I want to help people get off to the best start that they can. And I think you can get as much done on Mondays. In fact, I call it double Monday. Double your work on Mondays, and it makes the rest of the week go better. So my purpose in life is to encourage and to empower others to live, lead, and to finish well. And the primary reason why I like to do Facebook Live is because it helps me accomplish my purpose, but I want to help people to lead themselves well. It starts there. You don't get to lead others until you lead yourself well. So my topic in episode 34 is about sizing up leaders and questions that you can ask, 5 questions you can ask. And so I want you to listen to this talk from 2 different perspectives. One perspective, listen if you're already a leader and you're trying to bring people on your team, and questions that you can ask as you size up, how will this person lead on my team, part of my organization, company, whatever it may be. But on the other side of that, you may say, I don't have a company. I don't have an organization. I want you to listen to this from this vantage point, from the vantage point of you want to be a leader. And how would you fit and answer these questions about yourself? All right, does that make sense? So one, if you're a leader and you're over an organization or work in an organization, you hire people, you bring people on your leadership team, these are some questions you can ask to size up leaders. And if you're not in the hiring place or a leader, then I want you to look at these questions from the vantage point of how would you be an answer to these questions? How do these things fit you? Okay, so here's the first one. The first question you need to ask is, do they have growth potential? Has this person maxed out? Are they as far as they can go? Have they hit their lid or their ceiling? Okay, now here's some things to think about reaching their growth potential. Does this person have this growth trajectory? And a big thing I try to assess when I'm meeting with someone is, are they being themselves? And you may say, what does that have to do with being a leader, having growth potential? It has a lot. Because listen, you'll never reach your growth potential or potential in life in general if you're not being yourself. You can't be someone else and reach your potential. You just can't do it. Now that may be a good insight for you. Don't try to be someone else. Be the best version of you. So you want to figure out, are they being themselves? Second thing under the first point of do they have growth potential is this: do they play to their strengths? You'll never reach your growth potential if you're not playing to your strengths. It's just like me. If I'm always playing to my weaknesses, man, I'm going to tap out early. I'm done. But if people allow me to play to my strengths and the organization brings me in, that I get to leverage and maximize my strengths, there's higher growth potential and growth trajectory there. And a third thing I'd add there under that one, C, you could say, are they committed to be a lifelong learner? Here's the thing. Once you stop learning, you stop growing. Let me say that again. Once you stop learning, you stop growing. You're not going to grow anymore if you quit learning. So for someone to have growth potential, they have to be a committed lifelong learner, or once they get in my organization, they're done with learning. And then I would add one more point, D, under the first point is this: are they coachable? Can they take even tough coaching? Because see, when coaching happens, growth can happen. Without coaching, it's hard to grow, it's hard to get better. So that's the first one, is do they have growth potential? Here's the second one: can they produce results? Okay, I know that's somewhat of a bottom line, but I want to look at a person. What have they done in the past? That is a great indicator of what they'll do in the future. So if it's important that they produce results, have they produced results in the past? Have they had some success? Now, growing up in Louisiana, I would use this language because it would communicate to people in Louisiana. What kind of skins do they have on the wall? I want people that they have grizzly bear skins on the wall. They can go on the big hunt and they get results. So the second thing for someone to size up a leader, can they get results? I want to look at what has been their track record in the past. Number 3, will they add value to the team? To the other team members, will they add value to them? And here's a couple thoughts under there. Can they be a force multiplier? Meaning, will they make everybody else on the team better? That's what a force multiplier is. Someone you put in there, and not only are they doing good, but they make everybody else better. Okay, I talked about a couple of weeks ago, the greatest of all time. I consider Drew Brees. He's my favorite player. He's a force multiplier. He makes everybody on his team better. That's what I'm talking about, a force multiplier. Do their gifts and strengths align with the needs of the team? If they come in and they get the same strengths as everybody else, they're not going to be filling the niche that's needed there, the need that's apparent. So you want someone that their gifts and strengths fit in to where we have a need. Does that make sense? So that's what I would say under, will they add value to the team? And here's number 4. Do they positively influence others? Now, you've heard it said leadership is influence, and I agree with that in part, but I think good leadership, great leadership, is people that can positively influence others. That's what I'm looking for. Can they be a positive influence? If I've got a young team, can I bring someone in that can positively influence this young team, because they'll be easily influenced? You can bring someone in that can influence them in a bad way. So I like to add that positively piece in there, because I think that does make a difference. Leadership is being a positive influence. All right, so let me get to number 5. 5 questions you should ask as you size up leaders. Again, I want you to be thinking about it for yourself. How do you fit in the ones I've covered so far? So just as a recap, the first one is, do they have growth potential? Do you have growth potential? 2, can they produce results? What kind of results have you produced? What is your track record? I've got 2 nonprofit boards that I report to. If I don't produce results, they're going to get a replacement for me. I happen to also run my own consulting business. Man, I have to look at the bottom line. If I'm not producing results, I go out of business. That's just the way it is. You have to be able to produce results. Number 3, will they add value to the team? Can you think about how can you add value to the team? And then number 4, do they positively influence others? What about you? Are you a positive influence on others? And then number 5 is this: are they a multiplier? And another word for multiplier would be a developer. Do they have the ability? Do you have the ability to multiply yourself in others and develop others? I love Harry Firestone. He said this: the most important work of a leader is to grow and to develop people. The most important role or work of the leader is to grow and develop people. When you can become a multiplier, a developer, you just can't put a price tag on that. You just can't do it. I've told organizations this, and if you're listening, you may remember me saying this to you. If you pay me for what I do, I will be grossly overpaid. And I tell people that. I'll be overpaid. But if you pay me on my ability to develop others, you can't put a price tag on that. It's invaluable. Because see, you can only do at 100, but once you become a multiplier, then it goes to 100,000 is the potential. You see the growth trajectory there. So again, are you a multiplier? So ask yourself that. Can you multiply yourself and others? And here's the thing. I was telling this young leader I was having lunch today. If you want to become a multiplier, you've got to first lead yourself well. No one's going to follow you. People aren't going to ask you to pour into them if they don't see you growing and see you following through, seeing you being disciplined, seeing you getting good results. They're just not going to do it. So the 5th one again, Are they a multiplier? Can they develop other people? And so under that, I would say this: do they attract top talent? See, a multiplier has the ability, because of who they are and what they're about, they'll just attract top talent. People want to be a part of their team. Okay, they want to follow that type person. And then the second piece of that would be, not only can they attract top talent, but they can extract and extend that person's capability. Because they're growing, they can now extend that person's capability. And that's what a multiplier does. So those are your 5 questions to ask as you're assessing and evaluating, sizing up a leader. You know, how does that fit for them? And so I'd ask you, as you're looking at adding leaders to your team or becoming a leader, you need to ask these questions of yourself. So I'd be really curious now, which one of these points from my talk has been most beneficial and helpful to you? What's added value to you? What's something that maybe I shared that you've not thought of before? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Maybe one of these 5 that really spoke to you. That would be great. I would also ask you to do me a favor. You'd do that. Would you please hit the share button so this can go to your friends as well? That would be something that would have been encouragement to me, and it also helps me to fulfill my purpose, which is to encourage and to empower others to live, lead, and finish well. And speaking of leading well, I'm going to be leading well this week. I hope you'll be leading well until next time we get together. So take care.